And no, people aren't stocking warehouses full of old products. So if people still want something, you got to go to eBay. All right, reselling nerds, how's it going? Welcome to our car vlog. Figured this might be a neat way to get some videos out with some ramblings of things that are on my mind. So welcome to the show today. What I wanted to share was how I got into reselling. So actually, I looked up on eBay. I have been on eBay since October of 1999. Early internet kid dealing with AOL at our house, trying to get online, but somehow stumbled across this auction platform, eBay. I think partly because I was looking for collectibles like comics and Magic the Gathering at the time, which is a card game, and I was out there as a buyer. But then what I think the site is good about is that once you buy a few things, you realize like, oh, maybe you can sell some things as well. So back then it was like records, maybe punk rock bands or some of the like heavy metal music I was into at the time. We'd buy and sell records and just things that were hard to find in our local town. I was kind of grew up in a small town, so it was like hard to just get certain things. Like Amazon maybe barely existed. I think if it did, it was purely books at the time. But eBay was like the everything store.
I don't actually sell anything here. I just sell them on eBay.
Oh, I don't get it.
And people were willing to ship to you as long as they could make a buck. So not a lot has changed since then, because now similar, we're us resellers, whether you're part-time or full-time, at the end of the day, we're more or less getting product to people that are really interested in getting that product that is often hard to find anymore. It's out of date. It's not being sold. And, sure, like people would argue that there's an upcharge, but I mean, look at stores, right? They're not holding on to product. They're trying to just flush that as fast as they can, so that they can get the next product in. And no, people aren't stocking warehouses full of old products. So if people still want something, you got to go to eBay. Or now, like there's all these competitive sites, but yeah, eBay is the platform that I'm primarily selling on. I guess I know so well. So that's sort of what got me into eBay, but honestly, there was probably about a 20-year lull where I didn't sell on the platform. So maybe around 2001 or so, I stopped selling on there altogether and then didn't really think about it until during COVID. And what happened was I was sitting at home, and I think I read one of those articles about these new books that were being banned in the United States for various, political reasons. And I was, reading an article and just out of curiosity, I was like, oh, what books are they talking about? And I just ran through one of these lists that was on some article online. And it turned out that there was this graphic novel that was banned that I had like a rare hardbound version of the book. It's this book called Mouse, Maus. And I remember buying this in the early 2000s because, funny enough, another article I had read was that it was known for being one of the top 10 graphic novels, best graphic novels ever written. And it's some book, where an artist drew out this whole story about the Holocaust and just like, it's this beautiful artwork with this story. And, that's something that I've always been excited about is like books and comics and like, that where illustrations and, the written word meet. I think that's true art. So I had bought that book back in the early 2000s and then put it on my bookshelf and never read it, actually. It was a nice, hardbound that was like a bunch of the comics themselves put into one book. Well, because it was on one of the banned lists, that book that I paid about $18 with shipping and tax was around $200 because it was becoming even more rare. So I immediately thought, I saw that on that website that it was banned, so I went to eBay and I saw they were selling, and then I was like, oh, I got the account. So luckily I didn't have to set anything up. I just posted that and I immediately sold it. And then it reminded me, oh yeah, you can sell a bunch of stuff, but like since I hadn't been on the platform for 20 years, I realized like I had a bunch of collectibles and stuff around my house that had been kind of sitting for at least 20 years or more that I maybe no longer needed, or I wanted to refresh and get other, collectibles. So then I started looking around the house, like what else could I sell? And I think it's very common, or it's advice that we often give to people that are interested in reselling is, just start with what you have, right? What don't you use anymore? And I think that's still good advice. So for me, it literally went from, in 2002, I'm almost coming up on, let's see, 2001. So I'm almost coming up on 2 full years of reselling again on the platform, again with my same old account. But 24 months will be coming up soon, I think in the next month or two. So within the past 2 years, though, I sold that book, and then I found this record, and this record of this old band called 18 Visions. It was a 7-inch record with this like limited color, or whatever, pink. It still had the sticker of what I paid for it, and it literally said $1. I think people would just get these like stickers from, the dollar store, and $1, $5, $10, something you might use at a garage sale. But I remember the band, just selling these for $1 in 1999, and I sold that for like I think after shipping somewhere around $70, $80. So a nice return on, I guess I wouldn't say my investment. It was just a return on this cool item I had. So yeah, and from that point on, it was look around Pokemon cards and old clothes that might have been valuable, and I was no longer wearing. So yeah, here we are almost 2 years later, and I feel like I got a good idea of what I like to sell, and better understanding of like how much things weigh and like what it's going to cost to ship. And that's kind of a whole nother side story is shipping costs for me seem to be outrageous. Like I had a bunch of kind of preset shipping prices, $5, $10, $15 increments, and I could pretty much quickly say like, okay, this thing's $5, and just like charge a flat fee. But all of a sudden prices seem to be like around the $6.50 to $7 to ship everywhere. I'm on the West Coast, by the way, California, but often I'm shipping to, like, it seems more regularly now, Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Florida for some reason. And for me to get something even medium mail over there, it's around $6.50 plus. So I haven't yet adjusted my pre-canned shipping rates, but I'm kind of just trying to recoup my costs through the price of the product a little bit for now. But maybe I should bump those up to like $6 or $7. But it's really cutting into selling a lot of low cost items. It's just not making it worthwhile anymore. So I don't know. I guess shipping costs are going to continue to go up, so we have to adapt or die, if you will. So yeah, I'm excited. I think most things I like to sell because I just know them so well. Again, is like those collectibles, like anything nerdy, as like kind of the channel name goes. So comics and anything with like sci-fi, fantasy books, toys, those things. But I also know there's a lot of function out of a lot of things like car parts and things that people have to constantly replace, like in their house. So I'm always on the lookout for like faucets or light fixtures, just anything that requires maintenance as well. So like those two areas, I kind of feel like I sort of know whether it's going to sell in a reasonable amount of time. So I'm going to try and pick that up. What I'm not comfortable with whatsoever is like glassware, let's see, like ceramics, figurines. You might have seen on my channel, I've tried to buy all those things, but I'm almost always either holding on to product that's not going to sell, or I'm dropping the price below what I might have even paid for it at a thrift store. So it's not really worth my time. And also it's like a little scary every time to ship those out. So I might be hesitant to, focus in that area, but I do want to learn more. So like, I want to spend more time researching. Maybe that's something else I can do in a future video too, is just kind of like crawl eBay and look at how I research. Because I'm usually doing that so I can be quicker at sourcing, which is always the goal of mine. Spend less time sourcing, more time posting, right? You might have seen I also have some shorts where I talk about our death piles. I do have a death pile that's been growing, so I need to really get into gear with posting, and what I'm sourcing. And I'm also trying to like sell on multi-platforms where I can, but I'm still like 8 out of 10 products sell on eBay, and every once in a while, a product sells on one of the other platforms. But that's been fine. It's been manageable. And I don't have a large store, 200, 300 items on the store, but for being part-time reseller, it's been manageable. Um, and I take a lot of breaks here and there where I just put my store on vacation mode, and it seems to be fine. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to a brand new year where we can continue to grow the channel, but grow the store and improve my processes over time. So hopefully more of that to come as well. So yeah, I'm excited to hear more about your stories. Maybe how you all got into eBay and reselling, or just what excites you about maybe going out on a hunt to source new items, or even if you watch the channel and you just like watching people like go out sourcing themselves and see what cool things they can find. So I'm curious like why you tune in, any questions you might have for a long time eBayer or reseller like myself. um, Anything you think I could help with or give you some advice or suggestions, I'd like to try and transfer my knowledge where I can to help others. All right, and with that, I'm hoping to have a really successful 2024. I'm looking forward to the year, growing my reselling store, as well as figuring out better processes to have a faster workflow. I'm going to have videos coming out about how I'm doing that. And I also hope to grow this channel, learn more about you all. So yeah, please, post a message. Obviously, like and subscribe. That's good for the channel to help us grow. But I'm also curious, comments below if you can on like, what got you into reselling, or also, you know, what you like to sell, or any questions you have or advice you're looking for to kind of grow your store. I'm always curious how I could help and give back to the community. I'd love to hear about your successes as well. So anyway, I wish you all many sales and no returns. That'll always be nice. So with that, we'll see you at the next video. Like and subscribe.